I'm a fat pig.
What did you just call me?
I'm starving.
I am so full.
I'm gonna vomit.
I can't fit.
I'm nauseous.
What are you going to order?
Can I get a side of mayo?
I'm sweating.
Do you hear my breathing?
I cannot stop eating chips.
This is not an extra large.
Do I look fat?
Welcome to Fat Pig. I'm Frank Liotti. Jennifer Carson, my co-host, is out for the next couple of episodes. She's filming HBO's Crashing. But we have a really special, hugely special, this is insane, guest co-host today in the studio with me. Please welcome, like legends like this don't really exist anymore. We have Liza Minnelli. Liza, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here today.
Liza, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your history.
Of course.
Now, I know that you've been very vociferous over the years about your weight going up and down.
I made sure I went to the doctor and I got it taken care of.
Oh, you got your weight taken care of?
Well, vociferous I thought was a disease.
We have Matteo Lane.
Hi.
Vociferous is like one of the 3 vocabulary words that I remember from 11th grade.
It's a big word. I'm so,
we have
blown away that you knew it.
Plethora, I remember.
I like plethora.
Vociferous.
Yeah.
Magnanimous.
Which I'm not even sure.
I don't really remember what it means. Does it mean fat?
It's a magnanimous vote, people say.
They do?
So, isn't that what Alex? Isn't that what they say?
I thought it meant you read a lot of magazines. A magnanimous person reads McCall's, Ladies' Home Journal, and Vogue.
What is?
It means like generous.
Magnanimous means generous.
Okay, so generous.
Who cares?
I've had plenty of magnanimous sex.
So Matteo is here.
Hi, how are you?
Matteo, so welcome to Fat Pig.
Thanks for having me on the show.
I'm glad that you could be I'm glad you could be the co-host today.
I hope, I won't be able to quite fill the role of Jessica, but I'll try and do it justice.
It's different. You don't have to fill the role. Here's the thing with this episode. There are 2 men in the studio, and I always get in trouble for saying things that the fans love, but my co-host gets angry about, like ropes of cum, like things like that.
So how are you even bringing up ropes of cum in a conversation?
It just always comes up all the time.
No pun intended. No, it just
comes up on my face. Has anyone ever? No. See, this is going to be a little tricky because
wanted to come on my face.
Jessica's not here to curtail my conversation.
Should I try and regulate the conversation in honor of Jessica?
No, I want you to be you.
Okay. Then I should probably put on that sundress.
You look like a cartoon mouse with those headphones on.
You look so. Because I
cute.
sort of have a mouse face, right? Like, I look exhausted today. I was at Market Days in Chicago, which is like a gay fest, a street fest, and
what
I'm
do you
just
mean
exhausted.
A gay street fest? They have they sell arts and crafts and
they do
sausage and peppers.
They literally do. Imagine San Gennaro with just only gays.
For people that are white, he said San Gennaro. San
Gennaro.
I went to a feast. If you don't know, because we do have listeners in South America who are like, I'm writing to you from the coffee field.
Then they did a good job. This coffee's fabulous.
If you don't know, nothing makes coffee like those tiny little 4-year-old hands picking those beans.
You remember Joan Rivers? I only use children for my Joan Rivers jewelry. Little fingers set little stones.
I didn't mean to take the air out of the room with oomph, but I was saying that on stage about my H&M shirt forever, and I didn't realize she already said it.
I'm a quarter Mexican, so maybe I'm partially responsible for my own coffee.
Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about? Oh, so
a festival.
These feasts that they have. Well, we got off the topic of the gay fair. I went to a feast in Brooklyn.
An Italian feast, or what kind of feast?
An Italian feast, like 3 weeks ago. And I couldn't help but taking pictures. I got to tell, for the Fat Pig, for the followers that follow us at Hey Fat Pig on Instagram, I'll post some of the pictures I took of the Italians.
Was this in Williamsburg?
This was in Williamsburg, but not nice Williamsburg.
Oh,
by projects and things. It was weird, but it's still Italian over there. Like, no hipsters go to this corner. I don't know why there were none. Either
The
that or-
Italians are like, no, we stay here.
Let me tell you something, you fucking with that stupid man bun and those Buddy Holly glasses, freak. You stay off of fucking Avenue Q. It's, what do you call it? It's insane. Like, my people, how Italian? You're like a quarter Italian?
Half.
You're half Italian? Aren't you like Mexican, Italian, and what's the other? The other.
And I'm Irish.
White.
So I am the Trinity of guilt.
What do you mean? I've never heard of Mexican guilt. I've certainly never heard of
Like
Irish
Catholic guilt.
Oh, Catholic
Because it's the most
guilt.
Catholic.
Well, the Irish that's Catholic.
Yeah, and the Irish Italians treat Catholicism very differently, I feel. The Irish use it as a way not to talk about anything, and then the Catholics use it as a way to make you feel guilty for everything.
Well, Irish twins, the Doyles, that in Comac where I grew up, they had 11 kids.
Yeah. But my mom's one of 7.
Yeah, my mom's one of 7 too. We always talk about that.
Oh, that's right. Our mothers are the 3rd oldest of the 7.
These women that have like 7+ kids, how does their lumbar spine stay inside their body?
It's just a little cinnamon in every single coffee. It really keeps you going.
You mean a little cinnamon in the coffee helps to kind of tighten the vagina?
Yes. My grandpa, they're so Sicilian. When he went blind at 5, 5 years old, he went blind. His aunts, because like Italians, especially foreign people, always think that they have like their own home remedies that'll cure it. So they tried putting steamed cabbage on his eyes and made him, a blind 5-year-old sitting on the kitchen table with just steamed cabbage on his eyes all day. It didn't work. And then his uncle told him,
it makes you want to go into a mental institution.
He's halfway there. No.
He's a lawyer, didn't he?
He's a
law?
judge. He's a judge.
A judge.
And then his uncle said, eat birdseed. And then he said, why would I eat birdseed? And he goes, you ever seen a blind bird before? So needless to say, my grandpa's still blind.
Oh, but he's a judge. Can you imagine reading law books in Braille?
Well, what happened is when he got accepted to Northwestern, they're from Chicago, they were so poor and his parents didn't speak English that they couldn't read to him. They couldn't afford anyone to read to him because they didn't have programs back then. So he couldn't go to Northwestern. He said it was the only time he ever saw his dad cry.
So where did he
go? Because he got
go?
a full ride scholarship to DePaul, and he was in an all Sicilian fraternity. And they would like de-pants him in the morning and then run downstairs, and he would like try and get his life.
They would de-what?
De-pants him.
De-pants?
Yeah, fraternity brothers. They would always give him shit, but for
De-pants is a word?
like take his pants off.
Can you imagine, like, have you ever read Braille? Like, Braille,
He has a Braille typewriter, which is also, I don't know how he...
But I look at Braille in, like, a hotel on, like, the
I
walls.
saw you on
and
Instagram
stuff.
do that the other day.
So they say it's, like, 2 dots and then 3 dots and then 1 dot and then 2 dots. And then, like, first of all, it would take me an hour and a half to read, like, Men's Room. How the fuck do you study for, like, the law tests?
Well, you have someone read to you, and then you have your Braille typewriter so you can make all your notes, and then you have your notes on your Braille. I actually don't know.
I don't think I have the attention span for someone to read Three Little Pigs to me, let alone, like,
Well,
a
you're
law
also,
book.
You can see.
Can see-
He's
Oh,
in
you
a
mean
different
me?
situation. Yeah.
I can't see anything. You don't know what I live like. Matteo's another Italian, as we kind of brought up already.
I was cultural. I mean, we know our family in Italy.
Wait, let me finish what I'm saying.
I speak Italian.
Wait, let me finish what I'm saying.
I look like a wop.
Matteo and I, he doesn't seem to have, because this is called Fat Pig, Matteo doesn't seem to have the food addiction that I do. He'll say that he does because he wants to fit in, but he has abs.
I don't say I have a food addiction.
He has abs. He's wearing like the gay male New York City uniform of August. He's wearing like 2 M&Ms and a Twix bar. He has nothing on. He has on like
and
a
it melts
sleeveless,
off by 3.
He has a sleeveless tank top blouse.
I'm going to the gym after this.
What did you eat today?
Today I had a whole thing of yogurt, like one of the big ones of yogurt, and then cereal and coffee.
What kind of yogurt? You have yogurt.
Vanilla Chobani.
So you have yogurt. You have Greek yogurt and coffee, right? That doesn't fly out of your intestines within like 2.5 minutes.
I mean, I didn't say that. You got to wake up extra early, put on Morning Joe, wait,
Right.
TikTok, then run to the
like,
bathroom.
I would have to stay home
all day from yogurt?
From yogurt and black coffee, I would have to stay home for hours.
No, I mean, then, you have your morning dump, and then...
You're so lucky. Like, I could paint a Jackson Pollock, like a huge...
What do you eat in the morning?
If I had... now I have a smoothie. I use berries because they're
Just a smoothie?
low in sugar. And I have to, so if I have coffee
Well,
after...
see, now I can't eat till 11, 12, 1, 2, so I can't eat till 2:30 now.
What, you're doing the gym
Every
thing?
4 hours. So then I work out, and then I have to have a certain amount of protein
See,
and
this
carb.
is what I used to do when I was in grad school. Okay, so we have like the opposite animal in our studio today. Usually, Matteo is doing what I used to do when I was in grad school when I was in shape. When people see a picture of me from back then, they say, "What happened?" And I usually say suicide, stroke, cancer, because of my family illnesses. But the truth of the matter, it is true, but the truth of the matter is I'm a food addict and I fell off the wagon. I used to wake up in grad school. I would have 8 egg whites with 1 yolk. 3 hours later, I'd have a protein bar. 3 hours later, a can of tuna. I'd go to the gym. Then I would have a protein shake. And within another hour and a half, have another protein. If I woke up in the middle of the night, I would have protein. And I was in incredible shape. I was miserable and riddled with anxiety because I took Hydroxycut, which is now off the market.
Why would you? I remember those commercials.
It worked. I had like a 7.5 pack. Like I had lumps in my stomach. It looked like I had
Abs on your cheeks.
It looks like I was riddled with cancer. It looked like I was sickly looking.
That's the look these days.
I thought I looked great, but when I see pictures from back then, it looked rough. I was so bony.
Look, I still eat.
You look great. You look amazing.
Oh, please. After all that, I still eat pasta. I was in Rome.
After all what? I'm saying you look great. I didn't look great. I looked too thin back then, but you look great. Like I was severe with I wouldn't even eat greens because I was afraid of having carbs of any kind.
Well, I learned not to have greens before I go on stage. Last time I had a piece of broccoli, they had to evacuate the Beacon Theater.
A piece of broccoli. That's Matteo's Liza Minnelli.
My mother made a really great London broil. And people didn't know this about Mama. She was really funny. She was funny. And I'd come home and I'd say, Mama, they're saying all these things about you and bad stuff. And she'd say, that's for them to believe. That's for them. But at home...
You're out of your fucking mind. That's for them. Okay. It's I when Matteo does Liza Minnelli, it makes me have to go into a group home for adults. It's so fucking funny. Can we just do that thing?
Yeah.
Like the James Lipton-y one and
yeah,
the Liza Minnelli one?
Of course.
Your 4th birthday. I was told Gene Kelly knocked on the door, and you opened it, and he had a big stuffed giraffe for you, and you screamed. What was that like?
Well, for my 4th birthday, on a Halloween-themed birthday, I was dressed up as a witch.
But isn't your birthday in June?
Yes. And then I saw Gene Kelly, and he started to laugh, but I wanted him to be upset. And so he saw my face, and then started telling everyone. Everyone got real scared. I loved it.
I hope that we're not throwing the listeners off.
Who gives a shit? We're having fun.
Of track. So, okay. So, as everybody knows, I lost all this weight, and now I've been not losing weight. I'm having so much trouble with this diet thing. You don't have diet stuff, huh?
I'm telling you, I'm on a diet right now.
Yeah, but you're on a regimen.
Right.
Do you have a vice?
Miami Vice?
No, come on. Do you have a vice? Men?
Well, but that's more... It's not even a vice. I mean, I have... Like, if I'm not busy with work, I tend to fill up that time with men.
Fill the hole?
Yes, figuratively and literally.
You tend to fill the hole. See, broke straight boy from Chicago, fill the hole. First time gay fuck.
I've never done anything like this before.
Stop it. Don't tell my girlfriend. Where are you going to put that? Oh, stop it. So what was this fuck fest in Chicago you went to?
It wasn't. I hooked up with a man who looked like Aladdin.
Where did you meet him?
In some basement of a bar.
You mean he was wearing like pink pantaloons and an open vest?
Had a monkey with him. And he flew in on a carpet. He brought in Jasmine, and the gays got real upset.
Wait a minute. So what was this thing again?
But I don't have a vice, I don't think.
Everybody has some kind of vice.
I don't know. We'll
Why
start,
was-
Matt. What's your vice?
Why-
Food?
Food and men.
You know, I love cigarette smoking, but I try not to do it. But if I start, I'll like keep going.
I quit.
But
smoking
I
is certainly
can't.
a vice.
I have to preserve my voice.
Right.
Which it sounds like beef. I sound like Lindsay Lohan now. Beef jerky.
Joan Rivers used to say when she tried to sing, she sounded like Lauren Bacall with a cold. Have you ever seen The Fan? The Fan is a movie from
Is it like a horror movie from the 1950s where like your fan
from
kills
like
you?
81.
Oh.
Where Lauren Bacall was.
I'm even not sure I know who Lauren Bacall is.
Yes, you do. She was with Humphrey Bogart. She was like 11, and Humphrey Bogart was like 73, and they were a couple.
Wait, was she in all the
She has-
National Lampoon's movies?
No, Lauren Bacall.
Can I
was like,
Google her?
Yeah, she was like a glamorous woman in the 50s, and then literally like an hour and a half later, she looked like a Saint Bernard.
Because all they did was drink and smoke back then.
But her voice, Lauren Bacall's voice, she seriously sounds like a bass.
Oh yeah, I know who Lauren.
Like she's got the
Bacall
most
is.
unnerving. I can't explain it.
I know exactly.
No,
who
it's
she
kind
is.
of like it's when these people think they know you. They come up to you on the street and
You know what?
Humphrey wasn't like that. It's kind of this. It's this ugly.
Do you know what I've noticed about certain actresses and singers more so than actresses is that after a certain amount of fame, they develop a new accent.
Well, Madonna's always done
Well,
that. but-
Madonna being the biggest one, but Whitney Houston did the same thing. Where before she died, she was at some fashion award show and she came up. She was like, "Everyone, I would like to." Like they all have this affectation to the. Lindsay Lohan now speaks with a Greek accent.
What Lindsay Lohan is probably just on heroin.
So she looks like the mask from Saw.
The Fan is a movie from like 1980 or 81, and Lauren Bacall is doing a Broadway musical.
Okay.
Even though she
can't sing.
No, she can't
like
sing at
Audrey
all.
Hepburn in My Fair Lady.
No,
they
well,
just
they
dubbed
have
over
like
her.
Marnie. No one is dubbing her voice. It's her singing, which is why it's so great.
Is it the joke though, or was she serious?
No, she's like she takes herself seriously. That's why it's insane. That's why it goes to show how show business makes no sense and is insane. Wait a minute, but what was the point in bringing up The Fan? What were we saying right before that? Gay, sex, vice.
Well, I was just saying I don't
Anal.
have any vice.
You don't have a vice. You smoke.
I mean, I
cigarettes.
do and I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I'm not an addictive personality. I'm more of like a self-loathing personality. So I don't get
How are you
addicted to things.
But so in other words, like your self-loathing doesn't manifest itself in any kind of habit like eating or sex or anything like that. You feel self-loathing. See, I don't feel self-loathing, and you feel self-loathing.
Yeah. That's why I'm in therapy with an old curmudgeon Jew, and I love him.
I love Susan. Susan's my therapist.
I see Alan.
Who?
His name is Alan. He's great.
Oh, it sounded like you said Ellen. I was.
I see Ellen. I fly out to L.A. and I go see Ellen DeGeneres.
I thought you meant my friend who killed herself on the Northern State.
Her too. I go to a medium to get her.
So wait a minute. What do you feel self-loathing over?
I just don't have confidence, and I feel insecure.
You don't
and
have
I feel
confidence
very...
as far as what?
Well, I love how you're so accusatory. Like you don't believe that I
No, I'm
feel
asking
these
you.
things.
I'm asking you questions. I'm not being
first of all, I didn't know
accusatory.
I was coming here to talk about how much I hate myself.
Well, we get vulnerable on this podcast. We can't just do funny voices.
Oh, I love doing, but that's the thing. I also communicate through humor, so I can deflect.
I mean, so do we. But that doesn't humor come out of that stuff?
Yeah, humor does, especially with my family. One of my biggest issues, especially with men, is that I do not insert my needs in men and allow them to dictate for me how I should feel and think, and I seek too much approval, and I want I want to be liked.
Wait, what? You said so much in one sentence.
But that's
Wait a minute.
it's kind of all it all stems from the same thing. It's just wanting to be liked.
Which is the stand-up comic thing.
Of course, I think
Right.
it comes from a lot of middle school and high school where it was rough.
Right.
So I feel that a lot of my neuroses and need of approval and focusing on looks and all these things, I seek validation through more superficial things as opposed to real merit. Like real, like I'm not putting myself and my personality first. I would put like looks or like credits or shows. There's other things to dictate my happiness or to show that I'm making stride in my life.
Right.
But I am learning, and I am coming to terms with the fact that I have to focus on me, my wants, and then the people around me and who I have as friends and value those friendships as opposed to just needing everyone to like me. So I'm getting to a better place. I'm less anxious and I'm less insecure.
Do you think working out helps, going to the gym?
Working out has helped in some aspects. Yeah, I mean, working out also too is almost like a family business. My sister is like a world champion fitness woman. Her name.
Really?
Yeah, and she gave me and my brother, who's also gay, workouts. And I'm a person. I'm a creature of habit.
Yeah.
I like to have a routine. I enjoy my routine. I get anxious stepping outside of it. And going to the gym is very helpful in my mental health because I have a routine and I have a goal. And it's a long-term goal. And I like being on these meal plans because I feel like I'm in control of something. And then I feel great when I'm on stage or I'm on camera or I'm putting on clothes fit better. So
right.
I enjoy that. And of course I, on Instagram, take it way out of hand and get naked with Stavros and do funny things.
Who's
and
Stavros?
Stavros is a Greek comedian here in the city. And he's up and coming. He's really talented. But him and I do all those naked pictures on my Instagram. Like for every month we do like Halloween and stuff like that, where like Mario and Luigi or like that's who Stavros is. So I do everything. I do, of course, the second I start working out, I get completely naked. But
do you feel like if you didn't work out, you'd be a different person on stage?
No, I feel the same.
You'd feel the same if you didn't work out?
Yeah, I would feel the same.
Huh, okay.
On stage, you step into a different... I don't know. Stage, I feel the most comfortable and most attractive.
If I'm eating well and I'm taking care of myself, I'm much less defensive on stage. Like if they're not on board at first, I'm freer on stage and I don't soak everything up like a sponge. If I'm taking care of myself in regular life, then when I'm on stage, I can be more generous and not like defensive or angry or whatever. So when I stop taking care of myself, I'm not as free on stage. I'm not as giving, I think, to an audience.
I might be calmer on stage. I think when I was I've gained 20 pounds in muscle.
In muscle.
Which is a lot.
Right.
And so when I was really skinny, I was probably unhappy with the way I looked, which is a gay thing. I mean, all of us gays go through that. Whether you're too big or too small, you feel inadequate.
Why do you think that is?
Because I think...
Like, why do you think there's such a body obsession in the gay community?
I think that for a long time, looks and how you look is a validation of who you are. And I think gays for so long were not liked or accepted. And so at least you had that. It's almost the opposite of someone who's anorexic. A lot of times if you're anorexic or bulimic, it's a control thing. It's have a control of this.
That's what I was going to say to you before. That's the one thing that got me through grad school when I felt like my time was not my own. That's what I wanted to get in before. When I was able to like diet and do that like every 4 hours, eat every 3 or 4 hours and go to the gym. That was mine. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the one thing I had control over, which, people always say is this crazy unhealthy word.
Do you like working out with people?
No, I like working out alone.
I do too.
Always liked working out alone with my music, and
I'd put Mariah on.
I put on shuffle.
Yeah, but then if I put on shuffle, it's going to be like Maria Callas. Like
it's
ballads.
like that. It's like that. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like it'll be like the Sex Pistols, and then it'll be like God, I Hope I Get It from Chorus Line. It's all over the fucking place. Or the theme from The Exorcist.
You have that on your phone?
Yeah, I have a soundbite of Barbra Streisand, like where they found her. If I didn't lose it because I got a new Mac. They taped her like in the studio, like 4 different sound bites of her having temper tantrums.
Really?
Christ, these fucking phones, they're off, dead. Like there's that. And then she says something like, this goddamn pen is that.
Don't you get that though? After a while when you see these celebrities having meltdowns, you're like, I got it. I
have meltdowns all the time when I'm not a celebrity.
I know, yeah, that's why I'm like, I have a meltdown if the air is off on the 6 train.
A woman is texting in front of me going down the subway steps, and I want to kick her, like down the stairs. I have a meltdown. Can you imagine It's really it's insane.
There's a clip of Barbra Streisand trying to do where she's like warming up in the studio in the song "Since I Fell for You."
A video clip,
just an audio of her, and then where she hits the high G, and so she like tries it like 5 times. And each one's good, but it's also funny to just listen to like no music and just like do it again, do it again. You know, it's weird.
She's out of her fucking mind.
I love her.
I like Streisand up to 1980.
Agreed.
I do. Up until
but then I like her.
Yentl lost it for me.
God.
It's too much.
I do like her almost now, though. When you watch her interviewed, it's almost like she gets that she was a monster in the 90s. And then now, when she's interviewed, she has a much better sense of humor about herself.
She's very... she's so... Like, I'll think that, wow, she's come such a long way. You know, and then I'll see her on a talk show sitting on the opposite side of the host because she only wants to be photographed from her left side.
Which is weird because she looks the exact same.
She looks exactly the same. But I get that. Like, I always
Kathy
feel
Griffin
like...
has a joke. She's like, I think it's funny that Streisand thinks she has any good side.
I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Like, I say it on my Instagram, I only photograph from the left side.
I photograph from that side.
Me too. The right side looks like I have Down syndrome. Everything is round. In pictures. Everything is round. When I photograph from the other side. Wait. Let's talk about this self-loathing gay thing. I don't understand. You don't like to go there, huh?
It's not that I like to go there, but it's boring and it's
Who is it boring to?
I don't know. It's also complicated to get into, and then it doesn't feel resolved, and then I'm going to leave here the rest of my day with a cloud over my head.
It's so interesting to me because it's like, I meant that like in a general way. It's like body obsessed, and then I'll go and perform at Bear Week.
And that's a whole other...
In Provincetown.
Yeah.
And what used to be this subculture of a culture, now you have the quote-unquote muscle bears. You have all these guys who've stopped shaving their chests and have grown beards, and they walk down Commercial Street and they look straight ahead like that bitch cheerleader in high school that you hated walk down the hall. Like, and these other guys feel so ostracized by their own community, by their own subculture, where they felt okay being like fat. Do you know what I mean?
It's in every community and subculture, etc., has its own caste system it creates for itself, and they take on the oppressor's characteristics and use that against their own people to feel validated and to feel important.
Right.
And
you're right.
I think that it's not just a gay thing. It's
black community, light skin, dark skin.
Even in Italy,
Northern
you're all
and southern.
Italian, and then you say you're from Sicily, and then they call you, XYZ.
Well, Sicily's not Italy. There's that. That's
right, and then they say, oh, you're from Naples. Oh, you're not that. And so when you try to explain to Americans, like, yeah, Italians are racist against themselves, they don't get it.
Right.
But they're all Italian. But it's one and the same.
Italian's not a race.
It's human nature to just to categorize and to put down and to elevate yourself up however you want to. And looks for gays is an easy way to, because I think gay men, we can over-sexualize ourselves in a lot of ways. I mean, sex is obviously important and it is an amazing thing, but it's also something that we use as a weapon against other people. I mean, Grindr is a perfect example of something that is...
Grindr is, for those of you that don't know, Grindr's an app where gay men hook up. They post a picture of themselves. Many of them have names like Bottom, East Village for You, Bottom, Cum Bucket, Bottom, McBottom. It's incredible.
What, are you looking for tops?
It's not like a dating app, and it's sort of like, it's like cutting right to the chase it's literally like a meat market. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's literally...
It does show the difference between men and women, though, doesn't it? Because
absolutely.
If you look, they did research, and the most monogamous relationships are women and women. Then in the middle is women and men, and then the least monogamous is gay men. Mm-hmm. Not that gay men don't have monogamy and have all these things that, I don't say straight people. They don't have long-term relationships.
Other groupings, let's say.
Yeah, they do. But it's more common to sex is... I think gay men, especially in New York, it's almost looked as very disposable in a lot of ways.
This book from the 70s called The Sexual Outlaw used to call that kind of... It was like this kind of... It was a staple in like early gay literature, early as far as like after the gay revolution of the 60s, say, or early 70s. He used to say that the promiscuity in the gay community was rage. and it makes total sense to me. It takes so long to break down, but it makes total sense to me. It's almost like, I look at like gay marriage trying to kind of like pin down gay people a little bit to establish some form of like habit within monogamy, and I don't know, it's really tricky. I'm seeing a lot more polygamous three-way relationships and whatnot. Almost every three-way relationship, I'm going to get shit for this. Almost every gay three-way relationship I've seen has involved someone getting hurt. Almost every time I've seen it.
Well, it's because when you're trying to blow someone, your foot starts... I get Charlie horses.
Let's talk about your sister Lorna. Have you ever been fisted?
Are you talking to Liza or me?
You.
No! Are you kidding?
Why? Okay.
Because I don't even think I could... I can barely get a normal penis up there.
Jesus, I can't even... I have trouble going to the bathroom and getting something out of there, let alone up there. Oh, my God. I wish I could get plowed. I do. I know Alex is going to get uncomfortable. I saw, like, a thumbnail picture.
Oh, don't even. I can't.
What?
I can't with those. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Thumbnail picture
like
of what?
Like a rosebud.
No. I wasn't going to say that.
Oh, they scare the fucking shit out of me.
Oh, God. Here we go. Here's the... I had a roast... A good.
I thought you were going to say I had a roast.
I had to have a comedy roast battle with a dear friend of mine, Rosebud. And I wanted to make a joke about her name. And most heterosexual people don't know what that is.
No.
A rosebud is... I can't even explain what it is. It's like an inside out... Wait, it's like an inside out... What is that thing called? Sphincter? Rectum?
Your
anus?
intestines.
It's disgusting. It's the most horrific... Ugh, it's like the way lesbians...
Don't Google it.
Lesbians don't want to talk about keeping their fingernails trimmed short. It's like, this is worse. Gay men, it's just, there are so many disgusting underworld... I can't even go into it. It's, it's horrific. But no, the thumbnail I was going to say when we were talking about bottoming, I just saw like a man on top of another man, and the other man on the bottom part, his legs were like up a little, like they were having sex, like intercourse, like sex. And I thought, I wish I could do that. Like I can't I can't.
If you were in a long-term relationship of having regular sex...
What's regular sex?
Well...
You mean he's opposed to like doing it in the backyard under the deck? Like the animals in the pine needles in the mud?
But I don't like doing that because I know that possums tend to look on. When they look on, I get my shovel.
You know them squirrels do their business under that deck? They do their business and you're rolling around in it like it's fucking food or something.
Not my yard. I've hired 75 cats to roam these woods. Not a squirrel or mouse in sight.
Oh, we have a caller here on line 3. We have a surprise caller. It's Liza Minnelli.
Yes.
Liza, thank you for calling into Fat Pig.
I just wanted to call and say that I'm in line at Burger King, and I ordered a Whopper, and someone called me a racist.
Someone called you a racist for ordering a Whopper?
Because it's a whop. Frankly...
I literally...
This is the danger of us going into
I doubled
this
over.
world, because you and I will not recover.
I literally, I just like the top half of my body, like a capital L, bent down to the floor when he said Whoppers. Whop. Whop means without papers.
This is a derogatory term for Italians.
Oh, God, it kills me. For those of you that don't know, Matteo is from Chicago. Mm-hmm. So you have a gay brother, and how many sisters?
And
do
a
you
gay
have?
cousin.
And a gay cousin.
Just me, my brother, and sister, but I grew up on the same block as my first 20 cousins.
Yeah, that I knew.
Yeah.
I have 21st cousins, too. I'm the 20th.
I'm somewhere in the... Well, now I have like 27, I think.
First cousins?
Yeah.
I have 20.
Yeah. Well, there
two
would
of them
be
are dead.
25, maybe?
My
Something like
sister
that.
is dead, and she was one of the cousins, and my cousin Michael is dead. Do you have any dead family members?
Not in... No, actually.
Really?
Yeah. My family is all... We're all still here.
Everyone's living.
Well, on my mom's side, not on my dad's side. My dad's side, both his parents died.
Right.
And then... yeah, but my mom's side, we're all still here.
How old was your mother when she had you?
22.
Oh, wow, young.
6, 7.
Okay, my mother was like 42. Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we're a young well, my grandma started having kids when she was 18. Mm-hmm. And then, so my mom's family is already young. Like, my grandma's 81, and my grandpa's 80. So they're pretty young for grandparents. Yeah, I'm 31. So my mom started having, she had all 3 of her kids. We're all 1 in a row. So my mom might have had me when I was 25, actually. Because my brothers, I'm 32, my sister's 33, and my brother's 34. Mm-hmm. And they're Irish twins.
That's the 11, what is that, a year,
11 months
a year
apart.
and a half apart? That's crazy.
Yeah. And then we all have a cousin our own age. And they grew up right next to us.
Can you imagine giving birth to another human being? Like your body splitting in half.
I went to Taco Burrito Palace this Saturday. And Sunday morning, those Lamaze classes came in handy.
I had a number 9. I had a Crunchwrap Supreme with no tomato.
I got a Sonic Boom at Sonic. And let me tell you something. There was a boom, all right.
I had a screen test with Otto Preminger.
I love this. Can you do some Joan Crawford impressions for us?
No.
Miss Crawford.
Well, now that...
Excuse me, Miss Crawford. I'm conducting this interview.
Can you imagine?
She would have killed them. Miss Crawford, I'd like to know, for your first screen test, what was that like for you?
No. I always pick up children. How old are you, darling? 6. 6 years old. I wanted to write Christina a letter for her opening in Barefoot in the Park, and I realized my mother never wrote me a letter. Let's see what the reviews are like, and then we'll write her a letter.
You know, just I imagine every time Joan Crawford talked, it was just like, woo! Like the ambulance is just.
Did you see Fuse?
Oh, I thought it was amazing.
It's so sad.
It was sad. It was sad, and it was also Jessica Lange did such a good job.
Knocked it out of the park.
And here
Susan Sarandon
was good.
Phoned it in. She was fine.
She was good.
Why did Susan Sarandon not even attempt a dialect?
I know.
It didn't make sense. She couldn't do it. Like when she tried to, it was like a high school production.
Yeah, every blue moon you'd hear, and that's that. Like, you know, it was.
But it was not organic to her for whatever reason. It just didn't.
She looks and the energy. Mm-hmm. That's such a gay word. She gave off a very, Betty Davis, but. Listen, it was all about Jessica Lange. You couldn't compete.
It was all about Jessica Lange.
And she did a great job of... Because it can easily go camp. It can easily go Mommy Dearest.
Obviously. And they paid homage to Mommy Dearest. Like she had that same outfit on with the boardroom of Pepsi-Cola that Jessica did with William Morris and whatnot in Feud. Because
the gays would have started riots in the street.
What, if they didn't pay homage to Mommy Dearest at all? There was a campy thing that he did with that I thought was cute. Like he lightly paid
the
him.
only ones watching it, so it's fine.
I don't know. I mean, but what do you call it? She certainly gave a very balanced performance.
Yeah.
As far as the vulnerability, they seriously, like, even when that fucking project was pitched, they must have said, we promise we'll show a vulnerable side of Joan Crawford.
And also when she got angry, like remember when she threw the thing at
Mamacita,
when she was like, she rarely yelled. I mean, Mommy Dearest was just yelling. So when she yelled, it spoke volumes.
Mommy Dearest was like, she would yell over like a glass of orange juice. It was insane.
So good.
Orange juice, damn it! Yeah, like everything was yelling. Damn it! Like she was out of her fucking mind.
How dare Faye Dunaway show herself at the Oscars this year?
Oh, Warren.
You're incorrigible.
Adopted children are special because they were chosen.
Normal children are ugly. Cut. Faye, we didn't write that line.
What do you call it? Oh my God, I heard Faye Dunaway had a temper tantrum in a hotel.
Recently?
In Los Angeles, like 6 months ago, yeah, like in a lobby. Don't you know who I am?
No.
Like every time I watch a Faye Dunaway movie now, all I see is Mommy Dearest.
I want like
Eyes of Laura Mars. Have you ever seen that where she's a fashion photographer?
No.
I need the shot on the fire with the tigers on the side. Like everything
Christine?
Everything is Christina.
Yeah.
Like everything. My sister wanted to name her daughter Christina and wouldn't because she thought that she'd live a tortured life with me as the uncle. Christina, darling. Like, she wouldn't name it Christina.
What is it with gay men and our fascination with those types of women?
Because I feel like it's because we have a cockeyed cocktail of hormones inside of our bodies. We have like the male and the female. It's like making a vodka tonic. It's like this weird balance of vodka and tonic.
I was thinking about that this morning on my way here.
And make no mistake about who the vodka is. The vodka's the woman. The tonic's the man, even though we let him think he's the vodka.
And cut. I think, too, like, someone was talking about Disney villains and why gay men love Disney villains. And I think it's because that the villains, similar to these women, tend to fit outside the patriarch, and they don't play the same rules. It's not about these love interest. Like Maleficent. It wasn't about...
Who's Maleficent? Oh, that's the one that
With
Angelina Jolie was?
Yeah, well, that's a terrible interpretation. But like Jafar, Ursula, all these characters don't...
Go back also, like, go back, because not all of our listeners are in their 20s. So, like, who are some of the older ones?
You have the Queen from Snow White. You have Lady Tremaine from Cinderella.
Why did the Queen kind of dress like a Muslim?
When she was a cloaked all black woman? Or when she just had like...
She just had the face showing.
That was very medieval times.
Well, no, actually, no. The Muslim woman wouldn't have the face showing.
Well,
they just have their nipples showing.
Can you imagine if that was what?
Can you imagine the Muslim outfit would just be like the nipples and the groin showing and the rest of it, like the eyes weren't even exposed? They'd be walking into walls all the time.
That's a gay movie waiting to happen. Gay men.
Before anyone has a temper tantrum,
the Queen.
Remember, there are two gay men on this podcast today, and before anyone's like, goes defending Muslims, remember that religion, like their Laverne
Frank,
and Shirley.
Why are you bringing yourself into a territory you
their
don't want to go
Laverne
to?
and Shirley is us being thrown off of the top of a building. That's their 8:30 Tuesday night sitcom. Remember that. So,
are you one of my Italian uncles?
Oh, fuck, I wanted to talk about our Italian aunts for a second.
We could talk about our Italian... By the way, I don't condone those things you said about Muslims.
Nobody gives a shit what you condone.
But I want to talk about the Jews. Can you imagine Liza going after, like anti-Semitic Liza?
So, Liza, at one point in time in 74...
It's always 74.
You looked into joining the Hasidic community. What was that about?
I was researching for a role...
And the roll had poppy seeds on it and butter. And I wanted jelly. There wasn't any jelly in the supermarket that day. They had grape jelly. But I wanted strawberry and apricot.
But I can cook. I really know how to cook, baby. I'm a hoofer.
I hate you that I love you so much.
I also look like Liza Minnelli.
Did your aunts cook? You don't look anything like Liza.
My eyes is Liza.
No, they're not.
The same. When I just did drag, my friend Monet putting on Liza Minnelli makeup on me, he goes, "Oh my God, you look like
Monet's
Liza."
a man or a woman?
A man. Monet exchange.
When I was a young baby faggot on Long Island, I heard about 3 or 4 times over the course of a few years, "You should do Liza. You should do Liza. You should do Liza." And I'd be like, "Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm not that person."
And here we are. We're that person.
I used to do Ralph Macchio, but I don't mean dress up like him.
Same
thing. We both have Italian aunts.
Yeah, my aunt just made me sauce on Sunday.
Here's the thing.
She did. My Aunt Cindy.
She started cooking it in 1993. It was finished on Sunday. Wait a minute.
She even said, I have sauce I made earlier from the day before. It's still good.
Look at these beautiful pizzelles. Matteo, come here, sit down. Why do so many Italian women have vocal damage? Sit down, give me the baby. And the baby's screaming in terror because there's this booming voice coming out of the throat of a woman. Give me the baby. Oh, come here. Shh. Come here, come sit with Camilla. Oh, come on. Hand me my lighter. Did you ever see such beautiful garlic? Matteo, why are you laughing? What did I do? Is it my dress? What? What? He loves my sauce better than Cindy's. Whose sauce is the best? They compete over like who makes the best sauce, who makes the best roast beef. Frankie, hey, my sauce is better. The meatballs are better than your mother's, right? Traumatized. That's why I sleep with men. He's dying. He's laughing. That's why he's not making noise. Sit down, have more. Put the bread with it. Put the bread with it. That's why it annoys me that he has abs.
You know what else I realize every woman in my family does? If someone's pregnant and they don't say what the gender of the baby is, all the aunts, I had a dream. I dreamt about the baby.
You know what it is, Debbie? You are.
I have an Aunt Debbie.
When I had my Jennifer, I was covered in acne. I was bloated. You're having a boy. You're glowing. You look beautiful. The girl takes the beauty from the mother.
I'll never forget my Aunt Lisa calling my Uncle Mike saying, I had a dream and I saw curly, dark hair. Curly, dark hair. It's a girl. You're having a girl. My Aunt Nikki has premonitions.
She had an Asian male. She had the opposite. Wait, let's talk about that thing that we love to talk about with the way that they're... Okay. So my sister, I'm going to give an example of my sister Donna. My sister Donna saw this woman, my sister Donna's son Michael, my nephew, plays the bass, like the orchestra bass, not like Led Zeppelin bass. And she needed a new bass teacher for him, so she saw this woman, like some new neighbor. Her kid played the bass, this Chinese woman, and my sister goes, "Oh, I really need a bass teacher for my son. Who's your son's teacher?" And the new Chinese neighbor just kind of like looked at her and walked away. Like she got competitive and she didn't want to share the teacher's name. And my sister went, "Welcome to Massapequa!" Like that fighting thing.
Well, this is the thing too. Is like
the fighting Italian women thing.
The fighting Italian women, the insults. I find Italian women are so witty and they don't even know it. Like my Aunt Lisa, we had this one.
Totally.
My cousin's cousin, who's not a part of the family, we all hate them. She is such an idiot. And
First of all, wait. Pause a second. Don't forget what you're about to say.
Okay.
My cousin's cousin, who's not part of the family. Here's the thing. We all hate them. That is an Italian thing. My father's side of the family, his sister, those cousins, we all hate them. Every Italian family has a slice of the pie that everyone hates. We all, like my cousins from Ellie and Rosie, we all hate them. What the fuck is that? My cousin Jennifer, Michael, Anthony, Andrea, Vinny, Laura, Steven, who everyone hates the most, we all hate them. Why?
Evan Williams said the best thing about my family is like, your family is like, it's like you have one audition with them, and if you don't pass the audition, you're fucked forever.
Oh my God.
I was like, it's so true.
It's like auditioning for the High School of Performing Arts.
It is our family, because we all like work on the same brain
my God,
waves.
that's so genius. You have one audition with them.
Audition with my family, and you're out if you don't do it well.
I don't like that, Bob. He's too soft. I don't like them. I liked when you went out with Alex. Like my boyfriends would pass.
Oh, that's another thing. The past boyfriends.
Pass or fail the audition. I don't like, yeah, he's all right. He's soft looking.
My cousin Megan dated this guy Caesar forever, and of course my family loved him because he was handsome. Then they broke up, and she tried dating this new guy. My Aunt Cindy refused to speak to him. To the point where she'd be in the kitchen, next is the foyer, right? So he'd like walk in, Megan would be like, "I'll be right back," and she'd go upstairs. My Aunt Cindy would sit there perfectly quiet, sit in silence, didn't want to speak to him. And then she broke up with him and married her husband Wally. We love Wally. Wally's the best. Wally! Like we just like get parades, bring in marching bands for Wally. We love Wally. Okay, so the cousins that we hate, right?
Wait a minute.
My cousin was like, "Oh, I'll just say a new name. Sue wants to become a chiropractor." My Aunt Cindy finishes her cigarette. She can't even spell chiropractor. Keeps smoking.
Wait a minute. Who was the girl that couldn't spell chiropractor?
The girl.
To Cindy. Who was she to Cindy?
Oh, she was her husband's wife's daughter.
I don't know. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like cousins are cousins.
But here's my point. Like, this isn't even in my family. Like, the woman that bought my parents' house when my parents died, she brought Italian woman. She brought her mother with her. The woman's looking at the house. The mother is having a cigarette in the kitchen. My sister let her smoke in the house. My sister's sitting at the table with the mother. Upstairs, we hear the girl saying, "Oh, I'm going to knock down this wall, and I want there to be a door from the master bedroom into the second bath." The mother in the kitchen goes to my sister, "She's not doing anything. She doesn't have a nickel to her. She doesn't have a dollar to her name. She's not doing it. She's not doing nothing." Like, what is it with that? She walked into the kitchen, picked up the sugar bowl, she threw it at her head, and she said, "Get out of my house, you F." Like, what is it with the gang mentality?
It's the gang mentality. You're with us or you're against us.
Yeah, it's like a reminiscent to the mafia.
What happened is now I've been raised to the point where I think everyone in the public is an enemy until proven otherwise.
Oh my God, totally.
Yes, and okay, for a perfect example, I'm with my friends Patty and Taylor, and we're at a diner in the Upper East Side, 12 o'clock, everyone's really loud, and these two old women next to us I was just with my friends were talking. These two old women next to us go, "Excuse me, we're having lunch and you're being loud and I can't hear my friend." So my friend Patty and Taylor are like, "Oh, so sorry." They get real quiet. I took it as a sign of war.
Yeah.
I thought you thought it was loud before. Wait for the rest. I was ready to call in a petting zoo. And when the waitress came by, she's like, "Hi, can I get your order?" And I said, "Can you keep it down? These women are trying to have lunch and they can't hear themselves." Yep. I said, "I will make," and then I'm like, "I am my family right now. I am my family. Like, how dare you?"
Horrible.
Like,
I was at the diner with Lauren Wall 2 months ago. We're sitting there. We're not even like being anything. This woman gets up. She's like 104. She should have had like a wheelie IV in her hand. She comes over. She goes, "White woman, right? My friend and I are trying to have lunch in the next booth, and we can't even hear ourselves. Would you keep it down, please?" And Lauren's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I'm looking at this woman incredulously. She sits down, and I'm like, "Well, if I only had a week and a half to live, I guess I'd be a little bit edgy too." And like I'm being like loud so that the woman can hear me. She has 1 foot in her grave. She's thinking about what tombstone she wants. Like I'm trying to think of like anything having to like mean. It set me off, like, seriously. And then I'd be like, like I wanted to drive them insane. Insane.
well, we ended up moving lunch tables. When I walked past them, I said, "Your prayers have been answered, ladies." I don't know. I'm just so Italian.
I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too.
This has been a very special Fat Pig with my dear kid sister brother Matteo Lane. Did your phone just die? What was that noise? You could have plugged it in.
No, it was reminding me to do something.
Oh, what?
I don't know. Let me look. I turned it off.
Shit, I wanted to talk about bottoming. Write to us at heyfatpig@gmail.com, Instagram, heyfatpig, and heyfatpig at Twitter. We love you. Jessica will be back real soon. She was supposed to send me a letter to read, and we both forgot about it. We were on the phone for an hour this morning.
I love Jessica
I love her so much. And that's it. Thank you, guys. We love you. Say goodbye, Matteo.
Bye.
Goodbye, Matteo.
Goodbye.